You might not be aware of it, but St. Louis has its very own women's semi-professional basketball team, and the season kickoff is just around the corner. We're talking all about the St. Louis Surge on City Corner next. Hi, I'm Sarah Thompson and welcome to City Corner. Today we're talking about the St. Louis Surge. That's St. Louis's very own women's semi-professional basketball team. And I'm joined by the general manager and owner, Kalia Collier. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, I mean, a lot of people, St. Louis is a big baseball town, and when we think about baseball, think about basketball, people usually go think about SLU and the Billikens, but we have our own women's semi-professional team here.
Yeah.
So tell me about the St. Louis Surge.
We're the new women's pro team here, and we finished our inaugural season last year, and we're very excited to kick off the season opener, home opener, May 4th. And as we progress, we're just trying to build more awareness to bring people out to support.
Okay, and so when we say semi-professional, what exactly does that mean?
We are the farm recruiting league, essentially, for the WNBA. And so what we do for women who have the aspiration to either play overseas or get back overseas, we're that farm team to help them get there. So currently, 8 of our players play overseas and either want that opportunity to get there or go back, and that's our main focus. But the ultimate goal is to bring a WNBA team to St. Louis.
So all the players, obviously the female players, are out of college at this point, and they've played in college, and they might be, or some still in school, or they're all post-college?
They are all post-college.
Okay. And so you practice, and where do you practice and where do you play? You play at UMSL?
Yes, our official practice facility is the St. Louis Sports Center, and our official home facility is University of Missouri St. Louis. And so as we kind of progress all through the community of really just getting people an opportunity to see us, so we actually have off-sites that we practice as well, and we have open practices for people to come watch.
So this is your second season. I mean, how has it been so far? I mean, do you think the community is pretty receptive to women's basketball?
We created quite a buzz last year. Our home opener last year, we started with a little over 1,200 people. We increased attendance every game, and we finished with over 2,600 people in the stands.
Wow.
So as far as the excitement there, it gives us great momentum going into our home opener this year.
Yeah, so we have some footage from last year's player. I want to emphasize we're going to throw up some photos and graphics from last season. But tell me about what's different this season.
Well, we have completely relaunched. With a new logo, new coaching staff, new roster. We really wanted to make an impact to where last year, how we look at it was from what we accomplished was a soft accomplishment from what we'll accomplish this year.
Mm-hmm. And so just in terms of looking at the photos, I mean, when basketball, I mean, again, I'm not always trying to belabor it, say, oh, St. Louis is a baseball town. I mean, but it's kind of been historically crafted that way. I mean, how do you feel, how has it been really introducing a women's professional, semi-professional sport? I mean, you said people have been receptive, but who's in the crowds? Is it moms with their daughters, dads with their daughters? Is it everyone?
Well, our slogan is we're everyone's team. So our demographic is everyone. From our focus is K through 12 of really having the opportunity to get young girls to see professional role models and mentors in the community from a professional standpoint. But what's awesome is that our home opener last year, it took us over an hour to get through player signings because it was so many kids.
Really?
So just to watch the momentum grow is exciting.
So I mean, when you have the kids, when the kids come and when they're interacting with the players, what do you think they're sort of taking away? Is it that they've never sort of seen a female athlete professionally and had that interaction, or is it more of a self-esteem thing, or? I
think it's the interaction. The women's market in St. Louis was completely untapped. And so now to have the opportunity to see, especially from a 5th grader, 6th grader, who their passion and their heart is basketball, to see a 6'5", 6'4" athlete who played at Georgetown University or Minnesota University, to see them up close and personal that's exciting, and it shows them that you can still pursue your passion after college.
Because I think, that's a good point, because with women's sports sometimes it feels like college, and then of course there's the WNBA, but there don't seem as many opportunities sometimes as there are for men. Would that be accurate?
No,
or?
That's definitely accurate. And that's one of the huge things in St. Louis. We're a big sports town here. And so to have a women's team, people are excited. Just the evolution of women's sports in general is growing. Just the marketing that's going into women's sports now is more than ever before, especially after the NCAA tournament this year. So now to have young girls to see that, and it's important for the young guys to come out and see it too, because you have to watch the fundamentals of the game.
So let's talk about the new season. It kicks off on May 4th, and that's the home opener.
That is
correct?
The home opener. It is it's our Ameren Day, and so it's going to be tons of giveaways, and it's just going to be a complete blowout factor of excitement. So we actually will have Wild 104.9 there, just entertaining the crowd as they come in, and everyone should expect not only a great game, but the atmosphere is going to be incredible.
Okay, and so with the season, how many games are you play pretty much throughout the summer or through June and
We're May
July?
through August.
Okay.
And typically we're May through July. So it's a short season, but we will be also hosting the national tournament here for the first time ever. It is the first women's tournament of any sort to be hosted in St. Louis.
For this league. Okay.
Which to have professional teams that are coming in, especially women of this caliber, will be all in the city the first weekend of August.
That's going to be, all the games are still going to be at the Mark Twain building on UMSL's campus.
Yes.
Is that correct? That's really exciting. What other teams, how many cities are in the league when you play your away games? What cities do you go to?
We're kind of regionally based.
Okay.
The furthest we travel out this year is Kentucky and Atlanta. We'll be in Chicago. We also have Kansas City to travel to.
Okay.
And so last year we ventured out to Miami a couple of times, but we try to keep it regionally based to give people the opportunity to also come out to games. But the best part is there's so many teams in the league that the competitive nature is huge. We open up with the Atlanta Tar Heels, and it's going to be a great competitive game.
Really? How are they ranked? I mean, how are you guys ranked within the league?
Well, last year we finished number 2 in the nation out of 54 teams.
Congratulations.
So we're looking to finish number 1 in our home city this year. So the expectations have been set very high.
Okay, now you mentioned not only are there new players this year, but you have a new coach. Tell me about your new coach.
Yes, we have a new head coach, Coach Melissa Young. She was from Minnesota University, also participated with the Minnesota Lynx, and now she's restructured the program at Culver Stockton University, so we're very happy to have her. And we also have our assistant coach, Peter Jackson, who was a huge name here in St. Louis, and also the former assistant for St. Louis University. And we have a training and conditioning coach, Coach Condra, Tony Condra, who's phenomenal with just getting our players conditioned and going. So we have quite a talented staff.
Wow, that's really, really impressive. We're going to get into how you have masterminded all of this by yourself and with your team. But before we end the first break, I do want to ask you about sort of your vision for success. And obviously, you're young. You're 24 years old. You've kind of help put this all together. I mean, where do you see this going? I mean, do you see 5-10 years from now the team being very active and people having gone on to your team players going on to the WNBA, or is it also about getting more and more fans and people involved? Just tell me about your vision for success.
The ultimate vision for the Surge is for within the next 3 to 5 year forecast, we have a plan to actually bring a WNBA team to St. Louis. And it's very realistic. As we continue to build a consistent fan base in St. Louis, it's really exciting to watch just how we're growing. And it's gradual. I'm not saying that we're going to have a WNBA team here next year. It's showing the community that it can sustain and that what we're doing is going to help build it there. But What's more important with the vision is actually really having the opportunity for young ladies to see that you can pursue your passion after college. With the WNBA, there are only 12 teams in the WNBA, and they have a roster right around 10 per team. That's 120 women out of the entire United States. So the options of us finding athletes, it's bigger than that for me because I can always find an athlete. But we've hand-selected each player on our team because they're more than an athlete, they're making an impact, and it's kind of a story within a story.
No, that's wonderful. And when you say bringing the WNBA here, I mean, how does that actually work? Is it based on the success of, let's say, the St. Louis Surge and your current league, or how does that actually work to vie for a team in a city that doesn't have a WNBA team?
It almost works for our benefit, especially not to have a men or women's team here. It gives us a better actual chance to build a fan base, to not compete directly, because as people say, we're a cards town, but that's not our target market. Cardinals are always going to be the Cardinals. Same with the Rams and the Blues. But the women's team, actually, as a WNBA team, we completely fly under the radar. Most people think, well, can we sustain an NBA team? But have you ever thought if we could sustain a WNBA team? Women outnumber men in St. Louis, in the Missouri area, to where they're very excited to actually just see something different, and so are the men. And that's what really gives a chance to sustain in the community.
Well, you have clearly thought this through amazingly. And again, you're 24 years old and you're so articulate about all of this, clearly very passionate. And I want to get more into your story and how you sort of came about to develop this. But we're going to take a break. And before we go to break, we're going to throw up some graphics again to let you know that the season kickoff, it's May 4th out at UMSL at the Mark Twain Building. It's the St. Louis Surge. It's their 2013 season. And we're going to learn more about Kalia Collier and the St. Louis Surge when we come back.
Experience St. Louis!
This financial advisor is being accused of committing one of the largest investment frauds in the history of the United States.
I guess we're not going to Aspen. That's fine. You see, I like tennis balls. He likes insider trading. So he's going to jail and I'm going to a shelter. And no, they're not the same thing. Shelters are for good pets that want to be adopted. Jails are for criminals. I've done nothing. Uh-oh. Ooh, okay, I stole a cheeseburger once. I'm my dog.
For those dealing with the struggles of caring for a loved one, we hear you. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for advice and support.
Over 13 million people are affected by famine, war, and drought in the Horn of Africa.
Make a simple text donation of $10.
But do more than donate. Forward the facts.
Hi, I'm Sarah Thompson, and welcome back to City Corner. Today I'm talking to Kalia Collier. She is the general manager and owner of the St. Louis Surge. That's St. Louis's very own women's semi-professional basketball team. So in the first half of the show, we were going through what's kind of going to be the expectations for the season, which kicks off in May, on May 4th. But let's talk about you. And again, I'm not trying to reiterate your age, but yes, you're 24. You are the general manager of a women's semi-professional basketball team. I mean, that's extremely impressive.
Thank you.
And it's just, everything is so well packaged, so well put together. You've clearly thought about this. I mean, how did you get to where you are right now? How did this all come about?
Honestly, the time and the research that we put into this, I've spent more time in the library now than I did 4 years of college, easily.
Don't let your professors hear that, or your parents, right?
Researching why every semi-pro team failed through, why they failed in St. Louis, why they succeeded. It was important for us to know that of not just kind of winging it. And I wanted to make sure that we were buttoned up from top to bottom. Having a women's team here, the kind of the natural skepticism that's already out is, okay, well, will they sustain? Are they just going to be here? For us to at least complete a season, we've already made history. Now it's just kind of pushing forward and really finishing the goal.
So when did the idea, were you in college when you thought about doing this? I mean, where do you make that jump from, considering your age? Not too long ago, you were in school. So, I mean, were you already thinking about this when you were in school, or was it afterwards?
Actually, okay. I was set for law school after college, and that's what, originally before I engaged with the Surge and kind of thought about being an owner of a team, I was starting my own sports agency, because women are underrepresented from just an entire whole of sports agents. And it kind of fell into my lap and seized an opportunity to where I kind of just started off as a supportive friend, coming out because one of my friends is actually trying out for the team. And then from there, I kind of took on that managerial role of they needed some extra help. And I was working really long hours, just kind of transitioning into corporate America. And from there, I was like, they needed a practice fill-in. Of course, I still got it. So I jumped in and they're like, hey, you can still play. Why don't you, join this team? So I played 2 games with the Surge originally, and I kind of saw it as a gold mine. And so I presented to the owner to where would he consider me taking over the franchise at the end of the season. And he opted it to me midway through. And so in 2011, we had 3 weeks to prepare for the regional tournament that we held at Thompson, and we had over 600 people come out with just 3 weeks, and Channel 5 did the first story on us, and it just we hit the pavement running. Wow. And so it was seizing an opportunity, and I've never been so passionate about something in my life.
No,
I love what we're doing, and it's fun.
So I have to call you out. I saw you before you came into the station on your phone, walking, pacing back and forth. You seem obviously really busy. I mean, tell me, what is a typical day like for you? I imagine it starts 5 in the morning, ends probably at 11 at night.
I'm a really early riser, and I really don't sleep. When I tell you it's countless hours, it really is. We have a very short staff, but I'm huge in the power of numbers to where it's 3 of us on our primary staff, excluding our coaching staff, and we work. And that's when when I say I challenge kind of other teams to see what they're doing, what we're doing, it's our effort to where we really believe in what we're doing.
Do you think sometimes when you're so involved in something that it almost sometimes becomes clouded when it's like your baby, your project to grow? I mean, how do you make that balance between, you mentioned earlier, forecasting and projecting what the team's going to be like, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, versus the challenge of just tackling the day-to-day sort of, logistics of running a team? I mean, are you able to see beyond? Is that a challenge? Is it to kind of remove yourself from what it's like to be in the day-to-day?
I'm a really big picture person. Okay. For me, it's just kind of staying focused on each task, whether it's community outreach to sponsorship dollars, to getting butts in the seats for our season tickets, to game day tickets. It's really just, we have a set plan and we're sticking to it. And it's doing it within moderation of really pacing ourselves as we push forward, and it's working.
I imagine you're probably younger than some of the players on your team, is that correct?
Yes.
So is that dynamic is there ever that awkward dynamic, or is that kind of understood in sports that you'll have leaders who are sort of younger than you are? I think that happens quite a bit, in sports. You might have a star point guard who's like a freshman in college, and, when you're in college, I just am curious how that works to the dynamics of working with the team if you're actually younger than some of the players.
For us, the dynamic this year, and it was actually a real reason for the relaunch of having players that, you have to have players that have their own goal, and to where you can't just want to play. And I say that, then just join directly. You have to have a goal to where you are wanting to get overseas, and you don't lose sight of that. And for me, everybody thinks I'm super serious most of the time. I'm really not that serious all the time. But someone told me the other day, you're like 40-something. I was like, I don't even know if I should take that as a compliment or if you're just saying I'm super mature.
Right.
But it's kind of, we treat every player to where you're coming into a family. And so they know it's our staff, to our coaching staff, to our team, we're a giant team. And so I'm just a GM. To where my role was to help you get here, transition smoothly, set you up with employment and housing as you come in, and we respect each other on that level. So age doesn't really play a factor.
That's good to hear. I've noticed when I was on your site, on the website, and just from stuff that I've read, that community sort of outreach and involvement is really important to you and important to the team. Tell me how that factors into your season, just even year-round.
It's nonstop, to where we can't just be here May through July because it's out of sight, out of mind. And one of the biggest things with me is always giving back. And so it's important for every player and staff member that they understand the X amount of volunteer hours are just kind of required. If you don't like kids, the Surge isn't for you. If you don't want to participate in a parade, then find another team. But it's nice because we actually have players this year that are excited about it. They're engaged. They can't wait to jump out and pass out flyers. And that's the biggest thing for us is brand awareness and giving people the opportunity to know we exist. Because we haven't even scratched the surface of St. Louis yet.
You've done an exceptional job. I mean, you really have at the branding. When you talk about community events, parades, what do you do year round? Do you go to schools, or do you? I noticed we were talking earlier about some of the games are themed and overlap with this. Tell me a bit more about that.
Oh yes. Well, with the community events, I guest speak like 3 to 4 times a week to where it's like nonstop, elementary, middle school, high school. I speak at SLU really often. We're recruiting interns right now. And so it's just constant. We have our first skills clinic coming up April 28th, which I'm really, really, really excited about at the St. Louis Sports Center. And on top of it, each one of our games are themed. So the home opener is Ameren Day. Okay. Our second home game is June 9th, is Father-Daughter Day. And that's really just to get the dads engaged, and our market changed because we realized the moms kind of come along by default. The first introduction to sports typically is your dad. My dad was my first coach. So it's just a natural fit. Our third home game is Painted Pink with the American Cancer Society, which is the same day as the Susan G. Komen race. So we'll actually be participating in that and then inviting them out to our game. So we're really, really, really excited about that.
Yeah, that's really exciting.
Our fourth game is Public Service Day, and that's really getting engaged with the backstoppers, guns and hoses, and inviting the police department, the fire departments out to, they love sports anyway, and a lot of those, they have rec leagues that they participate in and would love to come to a game. And our final shebang home game is Energizer Day. So we'll have the Energizer Bunny out, and it's a full, just field day of activities. And then we host a national tournament.
And then I noticed that you do something where if students that are up till high school wear their jerseys, that they get free entry into a game. Is that correct?
Yes. If you wear your organizational uniforms, you get in our games free. And the promotion for that is, you see all these teams, and especially St. Louis is small, to where you've competed against each other at some point in time. Well, now you're representing your organization, but you're cheering for one common team. And that's what was really, it was super cute to watch last year, because we had the girls teams that were coming in, but towards the end of the season, as it spread word, we had boys teams coming in. And their coaches are sitting there like, you need to watch the fundamentals of the game because you're not dunking in the 6th grade.
And I was going to say, I think just growing up and playing basketball myself when I was a child, and you don't really have, at least when I was growing up, you don't have that real world experience to go to. You can't really go to a women's when I was growing up, you couldn't go to a women's basketball game. So do you find a lot of teams, like local high school teams, middle school teams, coming to the games and sort of using it almost as instruction?
Yes, and it's giving people a reason to come. And that was the portion to where we didn't really get a chance to tap into high schools last year. We really focused on AAU, but now we're getting involved with the CYC and really getting to each high school and meeting with the superintendents, and they completely are 100% backing us. And that's fun. But as a St. Louis native, I didn't have that opportunity. I attended my first WNBA game last year. And so they kid with me, and they say, you're trying to own a WNBA team, and you're now just getting engaged. It wasn't marketed here.
Yeah.
To where all my jerseys were Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. So to have the opportunity, Cheryl Swoops attended our launch party a couple of weeks ago, and to have her support moving forward of really creating that WNBA buzz is just phenomenal. We couldn't thank her enough.
When you look at other cities that are a part of your league and what your colleagues are doing in other cities, how are you making St. Louis, your team with the Surge, different? So you might look at, within your league, you said 60 cities. There are other.
There are 54 teams.
54 teams. So what stands out for you about how you're sort of running things with the Surge?
It's important for me that we don't have a team. We have a program.
Okay.
So everything that we've built with our players is that they're getting access to beyond basketball. What is it that you want to do with your career? These women have degrees, and that's what's kind of exciting with the story within the story. One of our players is an accountant at Boeing. The other, they're teachers, they're coaches. And it's so important, especially as I talk to young girls, to where it's okay to wear basketball shorts, because if I'm not in slacks and heels, I'm in Jordan shorts and Jordan flip-flops when I get home. But you can still make that transition and be a professional woman in the community building And for our players to highlight that, it's even better.
No, that's really exceptional. I mean, you have thought of, I mean, really everything. It's absolutely fascinating to me. I mean, really it is. It's just so well thought out and executed. I'm really excited for you guys. Tell me a little bit, we're going to start to wrap things up. So is there anything about the season that you want people to know about? We obviously know it kicks off May 4th. Anything else that you want to share with us about
We're driving as many people as possible to our website, stlsurgebasketball.com, for ticket information. We are the least expensive semi-pro team to come through St. Louis strategically. For season tickets, to where your season ticket includes VIP seating and access to our hospitality suite, which is free food and drinks. For the price, you can't beat it.
So what is the price? What is the pricing?
They're $49.99. That includes 5 games for the full season, which is VIP seating, free food, and it's catered. Our first game is catered by Keaton Sports Bar and Grill, which is phenomenal food. And we're getting product from all different companies that's helping us with those beverages. You can't beat the deal.
And then how much are tickets, like walk-up tickets?
Adults are only $8 and students are $5. But the huge promotion is we're encouraging kids to show up in your organization uniform, come as a team, get in the game free. And then you have all different things from our t-shirts to our hats, from concessions. You'll have a blast either way. So
we've got new coach, kind of new roster, new team. Season kicks off on May 4th. Got our date, $49.99. I mean, we've got this all kind of covered. Is there anything else that we should drive people to the website? Anything else that you want to kind of talk about?
Come power up with the Surge. Don't miss the opportunity, because we look at it to where you can either be there to experience it and witness it, or you're going to hear about it. So don't miss it. It is going to be exciting to watch.
And this is really open, you're saying too, to like everyone. It's girls, boys, teams, especially for the summer. It's a way to get out. Speaking of which, do you do any camps, or do you have anything planned with students over the summer for camps or when your season's over?
We will also be hosting a camp at Culver Stockton University. It's a full week, and we're really encouraging people to go to our website, sign up for that, because to have the access now, you're being trained by professional athletes. You can't beat it. And stressing our skills clinic that's coming up April 28th at the Sports Center. Every week, every other month, we have a skills clinic, so our next one will be in June, to where we're really just trying to get kids to actually see it and get it from our players.
And what age group is that for the students?
It's K through 12, so we have enough staffing to where we're able to separate the age groups. But as far as us targeting every demographic, from St. Peter, St. Charles, to West County, to St. Louis County, to St. Louis City, we need you there.
That's something to do. No, that's great, because again, when I was growing up, I imagine you too, a lot of the camps were outside of St. Louis. You'd go over to Illinois or SIUE, maybe some other places, but not a lot of stuff that was right here in St. Louis. But I have so enjoyed talking to you. I am always so impressed when I meet young people who are just doing fascinating things, and it sounds like you're going to have a wonderful season and just many great years ahead of you. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for being
awesome,
here.
actually.
And for everyone at home, you should check out the St. Louis Surge, their website. Again, their season kicks off May 4th, the home opener out at UMSL. Again, save the date. That's Saturday, May 4th. And the game starts at 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock?
7:05 tip-off.
7:05 tip-off. And tickets are on sale now, and we're going to have a lot of information they have information on their website, and of course, we will have some links on STL TV's site. So again, be sure to check it out and keep it right here on STL TV Experience St. Louis.